Please have a seat. Assalamu alaikum. Good day to you all. Electric vehicles, renewable energy technology, and battery storage. The future will most certainly be material intensive. As clean energy drives up demand for minerals, the need to press industries, especially the mining companies, to apply sustainable and responsible practices in their own operations and supply chains. This will only become more essential. Otherwise, the clean transition isn't going to be clean after all. From enhancing traceability to improving extraction and processing, to developing a circular economy, diversifying supply chains, the path to sustainability in the mining sector is clear, but it is both challenging and complex. So, are clean industries truly achievable? Before we address this question, let me introduce the panel fairly quickly. On my left-hand side here, the CEO of SABIC, Mr. Abdulrahman Al-Fageeh, as well as Anna Cabral Gardner, Co-Chairperson and CEO of Sigma Lithium. And on the left is Robert Friedland, founder and executive co-chairman of Ivanhoe Mines. And then Mr. Gustavo Pimenta, the CEO of Vale. And last but not least is Bob Wilt, the CEO of Ma'aden. So as you see, we've got the titans of the mining industry here and another titan of the chemical industry, the only one on this session. So before we address the question, let's talk about and kick things off with a quick investment outlook and overview, given the current market situation of the metals and the mineral space. Gustavo, I'll start with you. The clean energy transition, and we were looking at some of the numbers now on the video, it will require a huge ramp up in production of critical minerals with investments of up to $800 billion. But mineral prices are mostly slumping now, which could make funding these projects more difficult. Yet Vale Base Metals wants to invest upwards of $30 billion in the next decade in projects in Brazil, in Canada, in Indonesia. So the question is, are you confident that the underlying fundamentals of this clean tech boom, is it strong enough and resilient to withstand the cyclicality of the markets, the real world markets?
So first of all, thanks for having us. Appreciate the opportunity. And the answer is certainly. I think we've been in this industry for some time, and we know it's cyclical. There will be ups and downs, but when you look at the long-term fundamentals and the amount of demand that is necessary for us to promote the energy transition, I actually think the issue here today is more the ability to bring volume and to bring materials to the market, given the challenges that the industry is facing in terms of bringing new volume into the marketplace. We have this enterprise called Vale Base Metals that you just mentioned, and just us, right? We expected to invest about $30 billion within the next 10 years. We have a very large portfolio of nickel, and we are very excited about the opportunity to grow copper. For example, copper, we are doing 350 kilotons a year. We think we can get to 1 million tons. So we think, despite the volatility that it's normal in this space, the fundamentals that support the industry are here to stay long term. And in fact, I think the challenge is to find good mineral deposits and to be able to develop them at attractive level of returns at time and as the market needs. So I'm very optimistic, continues to be optimistic, not only on base metals, but also in iron ore. I think we don't talk much about iron ore. Vale is one of the giants in the iron ore production. 80 to 90% of our annual EBITDA is iron ore. But we do produce a different type of iron ore, the high quality iron ore, which is very adherent to all the decarbonization discussions that we are having. So if you're thinking about the green steel going towards a low carbon intensity long term, initially with natural gas, and on that particular case, we see the Middle East and Saudi Arabia as an enormous hub opportunity.
Yes.
And then going eventually to hydrogen down the road. So there is a lot of opportunities both in iron ore and base metals, and we're very excited with that.
Bob, is the current slump in market prices an opportunity for players like Ma'aden, like your JV with PIF, Manara, a good opportunity to double down on expansions and maybe scoop up some of those undervalued assets while others panic or freeze up?
Yeah, no, I think people have a misguided notion about our Manara Minerals business with the PIF. We are not looking for short-term gains to flip a quick return. We're looking for long-term strategic investments like we have in Valley-Based Metals that will provide an offtake for us as we build out the downstream in the kingdom. So we're looking for high-quality copper, nickel, lithium, and iron ore assets globally that will stand the test of time, that can support the downstream development. So short-term fluctuations in the market are fairly irrelevant to us. We're long-term, patient capital. We're not splashing money around trying to earn a quick buck. We're trying to do the right thing strategically for the kingdom. So if there's a slump currently and we can take advantage of that in ongoing negotiations, is one thing, but we're not chasing that.
Robert, if metal prices are so central to the coming electrification revolution, why are most prices slumping today, or on the weaker side, let's say? Why isn't this centrality and this importance being reflected in markets today, especially so when the markets are demanding that this mining is to be done in a sustainable way, which adds to the costs of extraction and processing?
To my brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. The pricing is irrelevant. Just ignore it. We've used, for example, 700 million metric tons of copper as a species to get to this moment. We need another 700 million metric tons in the next 20 years, as much as we mined in the last 10,000 years, just to maintain 3% GDP growth without the energy transition. We're using 25 million tons a year, and it's getting harder and harder to find a tier 1 ore body. Lower prices just mean less investment and even higher prices in the future. So if you're in the mining industry, you just ignore this question of current prices. And you have to be a low-cost producer. It has to be done in a sustainable way. And the tier 1 assets always win. The largest, highest grade, most easily accessible deposits, like the Guar field in oil and gas, which has built the kingdom and built most of the modern world, always wins. So I'd urge you to forget about the pricing and worry about the problem we face if we're going to have everybody on this planet have a better life, and also to counteract the incredible demand from a global military buildup that's currently underway, taking the exact same metals.
Interesting. Abdulrahman, the global clean energy transition does not simply rely on metals, minerals, rare earths. SABIC's motto is delivering chemistry that matters. What role will polymers play in the future of the clean energy system, and what promises does material science hold when we're thinking of innovating the next generation of polymers?
Okay, thanks, Nasser. Thanks, FII, for the opportunity to be among the distinguished panelists here. Definitely, and the polymers' role in the clean energy is very crucial, very critical. And if you look around, 95% of any manufactured product or any synthesis material that we see around us, it has a part of chemicals, and 76% of the chemicals go to the polymers. So polymers, it has an essential part in our life. And I could say now the clean energy, if we call it clean energy, it depends on the two things, the renewable resources and the decarbonization from the fossil fuel-based fuels. The chemical part is the hydrogen, and the polymers is the carbon. So I could say there is a twin link between the carbon and electron. You cannot do any electron without carbon. So the electron that will bring the material is coming from solar, is coming from wind, coming from hydro, and these required a lot of material from polymers. So you cannot see any windmill without any polymers there. You cannot see any power cable without an insulation that comes from the polymers. You cannot see any solar panels without polymers that make that solar panels with a lightweight and with a lot of good efficiency for the electricity. So it is linked to each other. You cannot have renewable resources for energy without, the polymers part of it. This is what we have right now. And the future is also promising also for the polymers, because now we are at the research, and I think it is very promising to go to the graphic ice and also to go to the nano tubes that comes from the polymers that can be also a good replacement for some of the material that we use it right now.
Anna, lithium is a critical enabler of the energy transition, but its production is often associated with adverse environmental and social impact. So what is the industry doing to address sustainability in your lithium production? And in terms of a legal framework of countries where lithium is being mined, you operate in Brazil, is it rigidly enforced, those environmental and labor laws?
Well, absolutely. First, I need to say we are probably the third lowest cost producer of lithium in the world. And why am I saying that? Because we are the only lithium material that is net zero, 27 years ahead of target. But then we decided to go for the highest standards and put a zero in some of these other environmental issues, such as zero use of drinking water, zero tailing dams, zero use of toxic chemicals, and zero dirty power. 100% of our power is renewable. So by going for zero, and then zero accidents. We have been over 18 months without a fatality or any work accidents. So we go for the highest standard while maintaining low cost. And as Robert was saying, that's the one way to ensure resilience in the business. Now, Brazil is a decades-old, centuries-old mining province. In my view, is one of the best mining provinces in the world for battery materials, but also in the view of our Australian competitors, because I just got a new neighbor. The second largest producer of lithium in the world just became my neighbor in Brazil. So yes, their labor rules, they're very strict. Environmental rules are extremely strict. There's just been a major settlement. So we are in a great position, in great part because of what we've been discussing. Low-cost producer, fantastic jurisdiction, and going for what we call the highest bar in terms of environmental and social sustainability.
Bob, mining and refining historically are not known for technological innovation, right? Extraction techniques now are becoming more reliant on technological innovation like robotics, AI, sensor networks, and the likes. What tech breakthroughs offer the biggest potential, not just to reduce the environmental impact, but also to unlock some new deposits?
So I think as Robert described, we need as much copper in the next decade as we've had in human history. And I can assure you that the globe has been scoured and explored looking for that copper. So we've got to do something different. And then once we find it, we have to develop mines a lot quicker to meet that demand. So traditionally, it has taken 20 years from the time you found something or started an exploration program to the time you commissioned a mine. We think, with my friend Robert Friedland's help, we can shorten that cycle time down to 9 years. Every phase of the process, from exploration through construction, through development, we are taking things that used to take months and digitizing them, applying artificial intelligence, automating them, taking from months to minutes. So we've shrunk that cycle time down. At the same time, once you find it, develop it, you have to process it more efficiently. So not only do you have the front end of the process from exploration, construction, and commissioning, but once you get establish the ore body and start mining it, you have to do it most efficiently, get the most yield out of it.
The grinding, the processing.
Every bit of it. And then what traditionally went out in the tailings dams, don't let the good stuff get away from you and go back and recycle that. So it's refreshing to hear Anna talk, because every mining company you talk to, we have the highest environmental standards, the most advanced technologies on the planet being deployed to solve this problem, but we still can't hire college kids that want to join the industry because they think it's dirty, it's old-fashioned. And so what we're trying to do at Ma'aden is revitalize the image, expose people to advanced technology,
Yes.
something with a purpose, and making mining cool again.
Robert, the energy transition will necessitate, my understanding, is a reinvention of mining. You know, the way we find, mine, and process the metals and minerals that Bob was just talking about a minute earlier. So unless we do that, the whole notion of a clean energy transition fails. So what are some of the new technologies out there that could disrupt the mining industry?
We have the privilege of being in an equal partnership with Ma'aden, using a magic pair of glasses that enables us to look under the sands of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and see conductivity related to metals.
Was that the same pair of glasses you were wearing backstage?
But we had it displayed last year at the Future Minerals Forum. So this technology injects enormous amounts of electrical energy into the earth. And if there's anything conductive down there like copper or gold or water, we see it. So the whole process of exploration and development and production of mining is being upended with profound technological change. Oil and gas industry was much earlier to adopt disruptive technology. Now mining can come to the kingdom and many other Islamic countries which have been underexplored. And we will see an enormous technological revolution, not only from AI, but a number of new technologies to crush and grind rock with less energy, better ways to reduce carbon requirement, maybe an 80 or 90% reduction. And we're working with the largest mining companies in the world to do that. And you'll see a lot of that disruption announced right here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which will be a leader in this process. And speaking to the gentleman from SABIC, I'd like to point out Saudi Arabia has a huge copper cable business. The cables are made out of copper, but you do have polymer on the outside of all of those cables. So Riyadh cable, Jeddah cable are world leaders in the copper cable business. It's an example of where Saudi Arabia can play a world-leading role. We're very happy and honored to be here to do just that. Shukran.
Gustavo, beyond incremental gains in energy efficiency, will radical breakthroughs in material science in particular, entirely new material products, allow us to do more with less? Do you think this will be the mantra for the mining industry in the years to come?
I think so. I think we have to address, as industry, a trajectory here towards reducing the footprint of our operations in general, right? Less land, less use of water, and I think all of us are doing an enormous amount of work to try to reduce that footprint. I think that's a necessary path for us to gain and earn our right and license to operate going forward. So that's a fundamental issue, and we are doing this. I think as an industry, although we've done a lot of improvements in technology, and I think we are now incorporating learnings from other ones, I still see us with enormous opportunity to bring learning from other industries. I still see the industries a little bit analogic, with an enormous opportunity to be more digital in terms of how we see their operations, how we get more efficient, less use of land, and so on.
Yes.
The third element here is how we think about solutions to our clients. And that's one of the examples Vale has been promoting is the briquette, which is an agglomerated products. We really believe the path towards decarbonizing the steel industry and finding products that help our clients to decarbonize their own operations. So I think it's a combination of having technology and innovation in both our operations, but also creating solutions that will help our clients to decarbonize.
Anna, what is needed now to build up sustainable sourcing across the whole mining industry when, the notion of enhancing traceability, is the onus on buyers or on the producers?
On both, on everyone. This is one of the stains that if it goes on for too long, it can severely damage the way society looks at us. So, and what happens typically in moments of low pricing is exactly that. The industry keeps on falling into the same old traps. It's happened with cobalt before. It's now happening in lithium. So buyers, well, the ultimate buyers are car makers. They have a responsibility with their customers to deliver a product that's in line with the ethos of their car. So, of course, buyers. The entire supply chain, for sure. I mean, chemistry is fundamentally important. So we would want the same standards that refining of oil and gas has adhered to be applied to refining of all battery materials. And then us, the upstreamers, we have enormous responsibility to earn our license to operate. So if everyone gathers together, you actually are able to eradicate untraceable materials, because it is actually one of the major issues in this industry, is falling by the wayside in moments of low pricing, looking for shortcuts. And that's completely unacceptable.
Abdulrahman, undoubtedly there exists an antagonism, let's call it this, or tension between the sustainability imperatives of ESG on one hand and profitability and returns to shareholders. So how do you juggle with?
First of all, let me just focus on the sustainability for 1 second. Sustainability is crucial, and I can take an example of SABIC, since we established in 1976 as a sustainable company. So the sustainability is part of DNA by collecting all these flare gas and leverage on what is the government has invested in the gas master system, make sure that we make a value added to this hydrocarbon, and making sure that also we continue our decarbonization all the way. And I can give by the year of 2023, we have minimized our decarbonization and reduced it by 12.5% from the base year in 2010, and also in our energy intensity, and in addition to what we do in our water conservations, as well as in the circular carbon economy. So this sustainability is part of our core business in the company. Definitely, we have to deliver value added to our customers, and we have to deliver some solutions, and it has to match their also ultimate objectives, as well as it has to be in a way that it add value to them. And all of our customers in the industry, especially with those ones that we deal with them in SABIC, and I know that they care for environment. They are working with us hand in hand to make sure that there is decarbonization for our chemical industry. And we are doing this, and we continue to do it because they value the solutions that the chemical industry is delivering to them, especially what we do in SABIC.
Bob, the world's population is heading towards 10 billion by 2050, each consuming more energy, more resources, more products. Can clean industry at that scale ever be truly achieved, given the planetary boundaries? Or we need to look at, changing the whole definition of what prosperity means. We've got a minute.
No, I think we have to demonstrate industry at scale that is sustainable and clean with a smaller footprint to service GDP growth in an ever-increasing population. We can't say, we're as prosperous as we're ever going to be. Sorry you missed out on it. So it's incumbent on massive industries like us to figure out a way, and we're doing it. I mean, we've logged double-digit improvements in waste reduction, water reduction, carbon reduction year on year for the past couple of years. Everything we touch and do, we're doing more efficiently, more sustainably, and more profitably, because it's not an either-or mix. Our board expects us, everything we're doing around sustainability, to have a profit motive. We're in the business of making money. So absolutely, with the advances in technology, innovation, we will be able to serve 10 billion people, and a rising tide will rise all ships.
Okay, so we've got the final question now to you, Robert. You are an explorationist. What are the prospects for breakthroughs in some cutting-edge technologies that could launch mining into, let's say, deep sea mining or asteroid mining in the space, or even extracting minerals directly from seawater? Could that be the future of the mining industry in the decades to come?
Yes and no. Due to the blessings of the kingdom, and the vision of 2030 to make mining a pillar in the economy, there are a number of disruptive technologies coming to dramatically improve the mining industry. And everything you touch, we either mined it or we grew it agriculturally. So it'll be done here on Earth. It won't be done in asteroids. And we shouldn't touch the ocean. Marine life is very sensitive. But with the technologies we have now, we have the capability to directly see resources in the Earth and to mine those resources with virtually no global warming gas. Right now in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, we're the third largest copper producer in the world with essentially no global warming gas. So it's a tough thing to do, but with the support of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I can assure you that it's the Islamic countries that are most underexplored, and they'll be in a position to take the most advanced technologies, and we can find the raw materials we need, inshallah, right here on Earth.
Well, on that note, I think that's all the time we have, I'm afraid, but I'm pretty sure that we've mined and extracted enough insights from our panelists. So a round of applause for our panelists, please. Thank you very much. Thank you.